before we leave Austria, he said to me, "Hey, Franz, it will be very nice when anyone is writing about this travel." And I said to him, "Do it. Not me, you. You can it and you write very beautiful." So I started to write. Afterwards, I made an exhibition from the rainforest to the desert. 150 photos. And afterwards, he asked me, he said, "What are you doing with this many photos?" I said, "No, maybe I make an album." And I started going. This album was produced in Vienna. Made in blue. I was very angry about that because I said, I like a color, desert color. They make it blue. And I said, "Hey, is this the color of the desert?" And they said to me, "It's near the sea." And I destroyed it and I made it myself. This is better. And then I started for the pictures. And my friends seen it and said, "You mean something like it?" And I said, "I like to make some from the computer." Please write it by him. They said,
Some people don't just travel, they study the world with their hands. Today's guest is Franz Weghofer, an Austrian craftsman, retired high-performance athlete, and master woodworker, known for his love of olive wood and the beauty of imperfect grain. But Franz isn't only a man of tools and timber. He's also a man who started flying and traveling later than most, then made up for lost time in a big way. Egypt, the Sinai, the Great Wall of China, Tuscany, and long solo journeys where history mattered as much as the view. He's lived a life of movement, too. Years of soccer, decades of triathlon, climbing with ropes, vertical rock faces, and even ice climbing, until a heart attack forced a new chapter and a new kind of discipline. And woven through it all is his personal story. Family, loss, resilience, and a deep love for beauty, shown in the sculptures he creates and in the handwritten travel books he builds page by page, like a monk preserving a life's worth of memories and lessons.
So this is Sifu Slim, and I am having the pleasure to be with a master woodworker today who loves olive wood. And please like and subscribe. And now we're going to listen to Franz Weghofer. Franz Weghofer. And Weg in English would be like an alley or a small street or a way. So way and Weg are very easy to remember. Tell us how old you were when you were born, Klaus. I was born on the 30th May 1948. And where were you? In Dagendorf. Here it's 3 kilometers from I was the last one in my age who was born at home, not in a hospital. My father, my mother, normally, and a wife. A midwife, like somebody helping your mother, like not a doctor. Not a doctor. And that was a good experience for your mother? Oh, it was very bad. I was the 6th. And it was very hard for her. 6 babies. 6 babies, yes. And you were you were the last one. And you were the last one born at home. There were other ones who were born at home. The friends, they go with me to school. They all was born in their hospital. But she don't like that. No hospital, I do it at home. And how did you come to find woodworking? How old were you? I finished school in 1962 in June, and on 23rd of July, I started to learn carpenter for 3 years. And then I worked till I was 23. And afterwards I changed.
And then what did you do after that?
After then, I worked in decoration. I was the leader of the group for exhibitions in Europe, in Germany, in Hungary, in Czech. And afterwards, I was for about the last 25 years. I worked in a company who made products for wood product. And I was the techniker.
In the 60s and 70s, were you traveling around Europe by automobile?
Yes, but not for holidays or for traveling, only for work. I started with traveling in 1990. I was the first time in the Tuscany, and in 92, I was sitting the first time in a plane.
Wow.
When I was 42.
Wow.
I visited, by my first traveling, I visited China. I've been for 10 weeks in Beijing, and I was looking there, and then I travel every year.
That was your first trip on an airplane, was to China?
To China? This was a trip with a group. And I find out in this time to travel with a group is nothing for me. I like to, when I see something, what I like to stay. I like to look and not come on. And we travel in this time in 1 hour through the Forbidden Town in Beijing. The next time, many years later, I visit Peking alone. And I was 4 days in the Forbidden Town.
Wow.
To look every places, to look or to read about the history. And it's for me very important to know also the history of a famous house, and not to look and I turn around and no, I must know also the history.
So when you were 42, did your friends think that was odd that you had never been on an airplane? Was that strange, different from most people?
It was so that a lot of time later, all of my friends said, this man is crazy. I started to go to the desert weather in 1992. I was the first time in Egypt. And I visited with my friends. They were a diver, and I made my first steps in the desert. And I don't know the English words for this. It was so great, this quietness. In the night, you don't hear anything. Also on the day, when you are on some places, you don't hear any noise. In the night, you can see bright stars. And in the meantime, I visit the desert of the Sinai, and it's 13 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2006, I finished because I had 2006 a heart attack, and I promised my wife and my daughter to finish this kind of trip,
The travel and the climbing.
also the climbing. The climbing I started to climb when I was 51. And in South Tyrol, it's a part of North Italy. It's in North Italy. But most of the people there talk the German language because South Tyrol was before No,
Austrian, Hungarian, it was there.
no. It belongs to Austria. No, it belongs to Austria. But even not the Finnish from the Second World War, it goes to Italy. But most of the people talk German, and this is Fort Weinberg. It's very nice.
What are some of the big climbs that you remember from that area?
I remember the three die drei Zinnen, very, very important. You can find it in every book from South Tyrol. I remember Montecusena, I remember Hexenstein, I remember Falzarigo, a lot of them.
Is this climbing with ropes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's top rope, or with a guide. It's very difficult to go in this age alone. It's not good to make such things.
Is much of the climb as straight as going up a tree? Perfectly vertical.
It's vertical, but it's easier to go in the stone or on the tree.
Easier on the stone than a tree.
I like the stone, and also I like ice.
All the material that you have to work with the ice.
On the shoes and in the hands. But you must be very concentrated.
Did you, and you're climbing, that was 15 years you were climbing? 15 Jahre?
It's complete.
Yeah.
I started with 51 and I finished with 65.
14.
It's enough.
That's good.
That's enough. It's very dangerous when you do in this age such things, because the most dangerous thing is you say, oh, no problem, I did it always.
Mm-hmm.
But
it changes.
not true.
It changes.
Not true.
Did you ever have a bird come down and bother you when you were climbing up? Because maybe a bird lives somewhere. No, you never had that.
I was falling sometimes in the ice.
You fell on the ice twice.
Biggie. This is the hammer what you put in the ice, and the ice was broken, and then it was fall down. But I was in the room. It was so broke.
So how far did you fall? Like 4 meters?
3-4 meters. Till it was most good.
You got snapped. You stopped.
But only it's the rope is not static. The rope is elastic. So you fall down, and then the rope goes very long, and then you go back.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember your first climb?
Yes.
Can you describe how you decided to go climbing and then how you put that all together? Did you read books or what did you do?
I was so glad in this time because I was very old, and I told to my guide, come on, I will try it. And afterwards, you say to me, it's okay,
or it's not.
Go on or stop.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, I ask him, Konrad, what's the matter about? Oh, come on, do it again. Do it again, you are a talent. Okay. And then I did a lot of climbings till more than 15 years.
Were you an athletic person as a child or a young man? Athlete?
When I was a boy?
Yeah, boy, and 20 years old, did you do sports? Were you sportsman? Many sports.
But in this time, it was not possible to make the sport what I like. So it was necessary to do one sport what all boys in my age did. Football. Not football, soccer, you say. And I played till I was 30, then finished, and then I started to play tennis and the last skiing, bicycle. And then I was triathlete, the Ironman, but not the distance of the Ironman. There is a short distance, about 1,500 meters for swimming, 12, what the word, 40 kilometers for bicycle, and 10 to 12 kilometers running. Along until I was 50. So you did that for 15 years on the triathlons. Triathlon, nearly 20 years, nearly 20 years. Wow, 20 years, yes. And what years were those triathlons? What years did you start? 1980 something? What's more? When did you start beginning the triathlon? Not 1900. When I was 33. So that gives me 8 and 1, 43. This was 81. So that's the beginning of triathlon. Yes. It was in the year when my daughter was born. And later, she'd make the training with me. Was swimming your best part of the triathlon? It was the hardest discipline for me because I never swam a long distance. I learned very late swimming. I was 14 years old when I learned swim. And then I was afraid to swim a long distance. And the first time when I started with triathlon, it was very hard for me because I was very angry. No, afraid. I was very afraid, not angry. And what were you afraid of? It's here. And when you think, then it's possible to do it. Do you get cramps in the water when you stay in the water? Cramps? No, you don't ever get cramps. Here you did triathlon from the beginning of triathlon for 15 years. You did football. You did, what else? What other sports did you do? Wandern, no hiking, no climbing. Wandern, football. Every Saturday, 2 times in a week training. And it was very hard with my boss, with my father. It was so. But I like it. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, I started to play tennis. I played dish tennis. And is Franz Beckenbauer older than you by about 5 to 8 years? Franz Beckenbauer? I think he might be 90. No, he was 1944 or 45. Close, yes. It took nearly, I think Beckenbauer was 4 years older than me, 4 or 5 years. When you were that age to watch sports on TV, did you have 3 television channels in Austria? 2? 2 in Austria. 2. And very seldom you saw MH. Maybe when Austria knocked the clubs, we don't see anything. When Austria played in the triathlons, for example, against England, then you saw it in the television. Interesting. What did they put on television in the 1970s? What was on television? Just news and movies? TV series, Bonanza. Did you have Bonanza? There was some, you can saw a lot of series, Bonanza, Donnes, Gallops, yeah. And the client, stupid things. Today, in this time, not. On Tuesday, in the evening, at 8:15, you must be at home because Dallas started. What day? What day was Dallas on? Tuesday night. Tuesday in 8:15 in the evening. And did you get to watch the whole program with no TV commercials, no publicity until the end of the show? You don't remember? In this time. In France, they didn't have interruptions in the 70s and the 80s from commercials. They put the publicity in the beginning and at the end. And in America, we had them like every 6 minutes, every 8 minutes. No, nothing. You didn't have the publicities. You did the climbing, and then your wife and your daughter said, "Ganuk is ganuk, enough is enough." In this time, I had no wife because the mother of my children, she left me when my son was 9 and my daughter 6. And the children lived with her. When my son was 12, he comes to me. Then it was a little bit difficult because my job, I started on Monday in the morning and I go away from home and come back on Friday. And in this time, my father was alive and he looked to my boy. Oh, this was a very nice combination. They liked each other and like each other. Yes. For my son, his grandfather was an older man. It's the same like now, my grandson, I'm the older grandfather. If you have to look back at the last 100 years and then you look at families today, if you go to America, we're very disconnected from families, the white people, often, not always, but it's very different than it was 60 years ago. Do you see the same thing in Austria with the divorces and the kids, like age 35 kids living farther away from their parents? Bad. It's bad. It's bad, and this time it's bad. But it's possible when you're a father that you can take your children with you. When in this age, when my divorce, it was very, very difficult to take your son or your daughter. They stayed with their mothers. It was really impossible. I made a big, hard fight with the government, not with the government, with lawyers and Gericht that my son can go to me. It was very hard. Now it's possible. And for me, for me is especially a difference in the families because my parents have been very old. My parents have been 41 when I was born. My father and my mother was born in 1907. 1907. Yes. My grandfather, the son of my mother, was born in 1870. This year he has his 151st birthday. And my father, he died with 90. And also they lived in very simple community, yes, community. And when I told my father when I was 18, I make the driving license, he said, "Why? You don't need it, you have no car." But I will have sometime a car. And I told it to you, not that you pay for me. I told it to you, my respect for you. For what football is stupid, this is stupid, but stay at home. Later also when I travel, he said to me, "Stay at home, talk with me." And I told to him, "It's very hard. You told me things I hated 1,000 times. I can tell it to you with the same words what you say." En onder him and det neemt een mens. But a very fine man. Well, did he never have a car? No, never had a car. He was able to go by bicycle. My mother, no. Father was able to swim from here, maybe to the other side of the lake. Finish. My mother, no, could not swim. both visit school for 6 years. But in this 6 years, they go only 3 years because they must work at home on the fields, in with the cows. So your father never go to Switzerland or France or Italy in the war. In the war, yes. He was in Russia. He was in Albania, Yugoslavia, finished. So he didn't get captured or he was in Russia. No. When he was old, he was with the pensionists, so small journals with the pensionists by bus. He was, I think, 2 times in Hungary. But he was an old man in this time. In this time, my mother was dead, and he was nearly so old as I now, who's 75, 76. He was 2 times in Hungary, and then he said, no, I finished this journals. Was he in the war away from home for 3 years? In the World War II, Weltkriegswehr, was he 3 years away from home? Yes, he was in the Second World War. He was from 1941 till 45. 3.5 to 4 years. In the meantime, my next elder brother was born. And when he comes home in 45, my brother saw his father the first time. So your mother, for 3.5, 4 years, she did not see her father? It was maybe 1 or 2 times. Mm-hmm. And she had 4 children. It was very hard for us. Should we talk about this type of wood? What do we have here? This famous wood. This? Yeah. This famous wood is I like it most. I like it to make slow sculptures. And I'm very sad when I see that the Italian people burn this wood. Because you want to make something out of it. Yes. And I like it when the wood is not straight. When the wood is so, then it's very stylish for me. So what is this wood? Once more, what is this wood? What kind of wood? What kind of straight? This is olive wood. Olive wood. This is from old wall. This one, when you like, I'll show you other things made from. I bring it here. Well, tell me again about why you like olive wood and how old were you when you found it, and how did you learn about olive wood? When I visited the Tuscany the first time, it was 1990. I was in a house on the border from a small town. It's 30 kilometers in the south of Florence. The name of this town is Volterra. And we lived in a house of a farmer. And in this time, I saw how beautiful olive wood is. I was always interested in wood, but I was glad to see this because the colors, it's very hard for me to see colors exactly. I don't know, I'm colorblind, so it's very hard for me to make a difference between red and green. This is blue, okay, but I don't know what your shirt, this color I don't know. I see it, I don't see it. This shirt you don't see. Yeah, this is blue. This I don't know. I don't see it. And I saw this wood, and you can find in this wood from dirty yellow to dark brown. And olive wood, you can find dirty yellow all the way to dark brown. Dark brown, yes. And it grows very slowly. So it's possible that the tree goes not straight. When the wind is coming, the main part of the tree turns. And most of when you work with wood for interiors, you cannot use this wood. You can only take it and put it in for burying. But for me, as more as this tree is going so and so when the wind is coming in, earthquake equal. This is interesting. And there was a very funny Erlebnis. I made an exhibition, and an old wife was coming in, very angry, and said to me, "What's that?" And I said, "What you might see. You didn't make it." So yeah, no, this is a product of the environment. Yeah, what is art in this? And I found it. Yeah. What was that stone you were telling me about before, that softer than iron wood? It was in the same time. Volterra, Volterra. Volett.
Volterra.
Ah.
And where is that from?
Is 30 kilometers in the south, is in the Tuscany, nearly in the center of Tuscany. He's 30 kilometers in the south of Florence, nearby San Gimignano. He's a very
Into San Gimignano.
20 kilometers.
Mhm.
50.
I love San Gimignano.
San Gimignano is one of the nicest towns. Sierra is not far away. Monteriggione, Lord, File.
I was there in 1983. When were you in San Gimignano?
Yeah. And my wife and me, we visit nearly every year the Tuscany. And when we finish the travel, we go to Gimignano for 2 or 3 days. We like this town. This is so lovely. The center, Middle Age, very, very fine. And the first time I visit Volterra, we make a visit in the town. And the shops in the town, every second shop is a shop with alabaster, eggs, vases for flowers
Made out of alabaster.
all made of alabaster.
And what is alabaster?
Alabaster is a very soft stone. There is the hardness of a stone is possible there is a list from 1 to 10. 10 is the diamond, is the hardest. And 1 is dike. You can make it with the nail of your finger, you can make it so, then you can see it. And the alabaster is 2 to 3. You can work with the same tools, with what you work with wood, you can work
With alabaster. What about Volterra? Is that the same? Is that soft wood also Volterra?
Yeah, in Volterra, they find.
Oh, that's the town where you find alabaster.
They find and they work with it. And they produce things and so. And I visit the atelier of an art man. And I saw, my friend and me, I saw an apple. An apple made of alabaster. And it seems that some bite from this apple. You can see the teeth in it. And my friend said, "I buy this apple." And I said, "Stop. I'll try to have a piece of alabaster and I try to make it." And it was possible. And in the meantime, I produced more than 100 apples. Because the apple is for me the gift for a wife in a house when we are invited there. And this is such an apple. You can touch it.
Wow, that's very heavy.
It is a stone.
And you can use the woodworking tools on that? You can use woodworking tool on this?
But this is woodworking. This is only wood. But yeah, other tools for working with the stone. Yes. And this stone, this fight with the stone. I had an exhibition and girlfriend. She went with me to school, and she said, "Oh, Franz, these apples are so beautiful. What must I pay for this?" And I said, "When you make a second bite, it's gratis and free. It's free for you." Was wolltest du noch wissen? Den Holzapfel? Then would say also I produce it from wood. This is also olive wood. Olive wood. And this is the gift when maybe you live in my neighborhood and you invite me and you come and bring it up. Well, most of the people bring the wine life flowers. But the flowers you put 2 days later in the rubbish, into the box. Like that is in the rubbish, yeah. But this, it's yes, it lasts for a long time. I like it. What is this stone here with the wine? This stone, this is sandstone. This is from the village in 30 kilometers from here. This village, the name of this village is St. Margareten. It's Burgenland. It's not Lower Austria, it's Burgenland. And in this area where this stone, where they take the stone, they take the stone 800 years before for the church in Vienna, for Stephenstone. There is a big hill in this stone break. They called him the Rock of Stephan. Are you talking about the church at Stephansplatz? Yeah, and the church there. And that's made out of sandstone? It's made of sandstone. Yes, it's the time of Gothic. 100, the Gothic period. Notre Dame is Gothic period. And Stephenstone was only one tower, not those 2 towers like, for example, like Köln, they've done. And the Church of Vienna, the Stephenstone, had only 1 tower, the South Tower. The North Tower is only a lot lower. No, very lower. It's only the base. There is the biggest bell of Austria is in London Tower. Shall we go around and you show me some other things if you want? Of course, let's do it. Interior, I go out here. Do you have people? For example, this is gadget. Ghost. This is just what is that made out of? The moment. So, and on the other side, it's possible to open some. Die zijn hier, hè? Ja. Alles. Pienza. Because to be honest, it goes to the sun. This part, this iron, is made in Tuscany. It's a small town in the south of the Tuscany. It's called Pienza. And Pienza is famous for Papa. Pius II was a Papst in Rome, and he was born in Pope was born there. Pope, thank you. El Papa. Ja, Papa, yeah. Na, auf Deutsch, how do you say Papa? Papst. I think Papa is Latin. I wonder if Papa has to do with father. Papas, yes. And the Pope, Pius II, was born in Pienza, on the border of this small village, or the small town, there is a forge. And they produce the irons, the signs. Here you see a lot of pieces. This in the middle, this is burned only wood. This tree has burned sometime. Then,
Before you cut it, it was already burned.
yes, before. Then they got it, and a friend of me, sometime he come to us, and they said, "I have something for you." And they opened this. Was das Dicken? Dicke. Mir? Covered. There you go. And it was white. It was burnt, hard burnt. Well, I started, and I looked like in there who clean the, like,
You're full of black soot, we call it.
rose. Yeah. And this is also a small chivesa. This is an apple with an arrow.
Beautiful. And where did you come up with the idea for the arrow? From the man that shoots the arrow? Where do they put it on the head?
You think
William Tell?
no.
Is that from Germany or England? Switzerland. William Tell? Wilhelm Tell.
Hey,
Switzerland.
ten. Like in English.
Tell.
Yeah.
Wilhelm Tell.
Double L.
Wilhelm Tell.
Indeed. Well, I don't know. You should know this story from William Dean. Do you know this story?
I only know a little bit about it. So.
That was in Switzerland, belongs in this time to Austria. And there was a man who goes around, and the people must be honest.
Saw before him.
Yeah, go down. And one man didn't it. And he said, "You must," because the people thought that this man is a very good shooter with unbruised.
With a bow and arrow.
Right, but just not with this bow,
No.
with this, but with a
Oh, crossbow.
crossbow. Yeah. Genau. Yeah. And an apple on the head of the sun.
Oh.
And we must shoot on this apple. And this man took 2 arrows, not one, only 2. And he shoots this apple from the head of this boy. And the spade man asked him, "Why did you take a second arrow?" And he said, "When I killed my son, I killed afterwards you."
And so what happened at the end of that story? Is that the end?
That's the end, yes.
And so we don't know what happened?
This is not
Mythology.
this is
Mythology.
yeah. Stories.
I'll get a close up of this over here.
Oh,
It's a nice display. Is the woman in the back made out of wood, or what is she made out of?
this is one of the pieces in this violin. What I didn't make myself.
Mm-hmm. What is she made out of? What is the material? Is that wood or iron?
Iron.
That's a difficult job.
And this is bronze.
Bronze.
Bronze. This is it's made in Italy, in Volterra, and they called it l'ombra della sera. That means the shadow of the night.
Buonasera.
Buonasera is
Buonasera.
guten Abend.
Buonasera.
Good evening.
Buonanotte.
Buonasera is
Good night.
good night.
Good evening. Buonasera.
And this wood, this is a stone made from the Sinai, from the descent of the children. And this is a coral from the Red Sea. And this is a special wood, mangrove.
Oh, yeah. I've been in Florida to the mangrove.
This is mangrove.
We're found that.
I won a lot of money with this piece of wood. I ask a journeyman, and most of these people are very proud to know many arts of wood, many kind of wood. And I said, I have a piece of wood you don't know what this is. It's impossible. And I showed him, what is this? Oh, this. There. So they never guessed it. It's impossible. I didn't also know it, but it's looks like a little bit. It looks like olive wood. But if you try to take this species now from Egypt home and they make a control on the airport,
You get arrested.
it's wrong.
Mhm.
You got it wrong. The first is they take it away. It's so possible to take it to home. And when I think at this time in 1990, what my box, I had a big box of iron. And in this box, I had a lot of things what I found in the desert. Possible. No problem. Now,
Can't do it. Mhm.
this is also with olive wood. It's one of the pieces my wife like most. It's forbidden for me to sell this. I call it the birch. Was
It's a nice piece. The mounting of it is very important.
this?
Yeah, that's very important. The whole display.
Yes.
And even in the box you have here.
Yeah, I produce it myself. All these things are
Very nice.
in my atelier in Dortmund. It's 3 kilometers from me.
You still have it? You still have your atelier? You have this atelier now?
Yes. How long can you stay here?
Saturday, because then I come back in August.
If you like, we do this atelier. You can find a lot of my sculptures from Xin.
If you had to guess how much of your sculpture is out in the world right now, how many pieces do you think? Hi, this is Sifu Slim, author of The Aging Athlete. In this book, you're going to get to hear about two different groups of former high-performance athletes. One group, which is made up of 90% of the former athletes, does not do physical activity on a regular basis and tends to suffer the consequences of a sedentary lifestyle. The other group, which is made up of 10% of the former athletes, is doing physical activity on a regular basis and tends to thrive through the aging process, or at least has a better chance at coping with the aging process. We could have taken these folks to a lab and done all kinds of tests on them. Instead, we slowed them down and sat them down and asked them in their own words to describe why they're wired the way they are, so that we all, former athletes and non-athletes, can use some of their inspirational and motivational and mindset lessons in our own lives. I hope you pick up a copy today. You can go to theagingathlete.com. And when you have a chance to read it, I'd love to hear back from you to find out what your thoughts are on the stories of these aging athletes.
More than 100. In Dunkirk, 50. And a lot of them I sell. Yeah. But most of the copies are there.
Shall we go to the piece that you showed me in your workshop, in your atelier?
No, you open. Some of his pieces I in Spain. This I found in Tuscany. And it was, yes, bean was 10 or 15 pieces. It was broken. And I tried to repair. And this part was a way I produced it myself. And now I try to close this hole. So it's the first step is this. When it's really dry, it must be burned with 1,200 degrees Celsius. 1,200 Celsius. And then I got it for this hole. And then I don't know exactly how. Maybe I made it so that it is more, it looks like normally, or I put it up and like you with a rope.
Yeah, yeah. That might be nice for the rope. Yes.
Because it's not original. But I think this is very, very fine when I make this in another color, not the same color like this, maybe the color like this. And then you see that it's new and it looks like with a rope around. Yeah.
How old is the original piece? 1,600? Yeah.
I don't know. I found it. This man, where I can get the alabaster. He has a factory to make, for example, an old vases and eggs, any small things, boxes to cook the pills inside. And when I visit him, I always take alabaster with me. When I say how much to pay, I look on the place where he throws the things away.
Right.
Needed anymore.
Okay.
So, and I saw these pieces and I asked him, what do you do with this? What shall I do with this? Come on, take it with you. And then I look inside. You can see how much work. This was a piece, this. I think more than 15 pieces laying there. You see here? Look. This is another wood. This is Buche. I don't think this is a tree, Obstbaum. I don't know the word for this.
Ox is vegetables.
No vegetable, sweet, vegetable, fruits, fruits
is ox.
yeah.
Gemüse is vegetables.
So, well, these are all gifts. And now I make a picture. These are also, I made as a with color when it is burnt with color. And afterwards I put it on maybe on a wood, or I make a painting and with glue.
What's that on there?
Mm-hmm. And this is the small
Atelier.
small place for working. The main working I do in my
Big studio. Big atelier.
next village. Here, mate, I only produce the reparations.
The repair work on the things that you want to work with.
And one of my great love is my God.
Over here, there's lots of vegetables. Who does those vegetables on the side?
The vegetable on side of this one. And this is my also like this items. Be careful about your legs, because this is the next drink. This is inside. This is order from the terrace to the roses. This is your Holzstapel. Ja, das ist ein Holzstapel. This is a Holzstapel. Every Austrian prides themselves on their Holzstapel, their wood pile. So we need these because for doing things, it's a wonderful atmosphere when you heat wood.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks also here very fine, very nice.
How many of these in the winter do you go through?
There's a cubic meter.
2 cubic meters.
Yeah.
So 10 times this you use? 10 same man this?
What year is? Oh no, more.
More than that.
20 times.
20 times a day.
20 days I can eat with
20 days only. Mm-hmm.
Because you must start with slow. You must start with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then after an hour later, then the bigger one, the last is not big one. Overnight. Overnight, the next day, the morning, and then you must start by with a small one, and then you can eat again.
Mm-hmm.
And from this piece of wood, I'll make a thing.
Beautiful.
This is for working like this one. Like this. Is this. But it's small.
You're gonna make a small work table.
No, not a work table. It becomes a table for a living room.
Living room. Okay.
The base, like this, what I have inside, with mountain and doors inside, what you can put anything in it. And the plate is this, and the last is glass.
Are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it? Sell this piece? Kaufen und sell.
So, sell this. If anybody like it, it's possible. But most of the people, they like it, but they would not pay anything for it because they think it's a gift. Come on. Because sometimes they work for 1 week and they like to pay you 10 euro.
Oh,
And this interior, what you see here, I produce also myself. This and this. And also this table.
I like this table. That's a nice table.
This table, this, the pictures, what you see in my living, I make all myself. This is Tuscany. This is Florence. This is San Gimignano.
San Gimignano.
This is the main tower in San Gimignano. This is the place of the cisterna.
Mm-hmm. The water well, the cisterna, where they keep the water.
Cisterna, yeah. And in this corner, there is a very, very good ice shop.
Oh,
But it's not possible for gelato. Gelato, see. But it's forbidden for me to eat ice.
you can't have that anymore. You can't eat that.
No, it's forbidden for me because I'm diabetic.
Diabetic.
And this is in the near of Pienza, I told. This is the Ponte Vecchio in
Montevecchio.
Ponte.
Montevecchio.
The bridge of
Montevecchio. On the lower left.
This is the Well, Santa Maria delle Fiori, the main town, the main church in Florence. And this is outside in Florence.
I'm gonna go get close to the one on the upper left. And you said that's Tuscany?
I had here some pictures from my works.
This one's Tuscany right here. Tuscany?
Tuscany, this is San Galgano.
Sant'Agata.
And once there is San Galgano, it's marine.
Sant'Agata.
San Galgano. It's in the south of Siena. And this is my world traveling book.
Oh my gosh. Dios mío, lieber Gott.
La Dios mío.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is all I wrote it on myself.
Yeah, how did you learn to do this?
To do this myself. When I was 15 years old, I started with this, and now I write 15 different.
Your father probably learned in school how to do the old type of writing,
Huh?
right?
Well, my father said 500 years ago we would work in a monastery to make a copy of a book because they wrote it in this.
To make these lines, did you have something to keep the lines?
Straight lines. I made lines with a pencil, and then with a rubber,
You erased it.
yeah. And this is a poem of the Dalai Lama. My children, when they have been. This is in the mountains of Dolomiti, in South Dolomiti. This is San Galgano, the backside.
Here it is. Galgano.
San Galgano, yeah? The backside.
Beautiful.
This is the front side of San Galgano. Children in Costa Rica.
What year were you in Costa Rica? In the 80s? No, 90s when you started traveling.
19. I don't know exactly.
My first time in Costa Rica was 92.
1907. Right here. Bananas. It was me when I was young. This picture was made by my daughter. This is on the Chinese wall.
This is Waves Wall of China.
Yeah, there you go. This is in South Africa. Olsenberg. I had spent 3 nights alone on the wall.
3 nights alone. What did you eat?
I started from Peking by taxi, nearly 60 kilometers to the north. The village is called Banamin. And then I had a room in my knapsack, some food, some water. And when the travel way for the tourists is finished, you cannot go on. I climbed down and go to the west for 2 days. 2 nights, 1 day. Then night, spend the night in the tower. Next day till high noon. Then I turn around, go back in the same tower. I sleep the night before, I slept again. And then I go back, and go by taxi back to sheep. This is in the desert.
Sinai.
Sinai.
It's 2000.
This is ensemble Sinai and other kind of pictures, this and this. I had a program in my computer to change the pictures.
Do you know what kind of trees those are on the Sinai?
This is a special kind of tree. We called it acacia. And the roots, acacia in English, and the roots of this tree are 30 meters 14 meters or 40 meters, yes, to come to the water. Oh, this is the colored canyon. It's so nothing. But the last time I was there, I was really disappointed because many people make commercials marks it. Was they burned wood and was the coal. They write, Ivan was here. Wow. This is sunrise on the mountain of Sinai. This was in the year when my daughter was with me. She was in this time 11. So the pyramids. Good boots. Yes, it's necessary because they are like boots, not shoes, boots. But you can close it with by rope. Oh, 300 euro. This boots. The boots were 300 euros back then. But it's more than 15 years ago. This Tom's. Where's that? Tom's. What's that? Seminary. The culture of, what's the meant? Dimna. The people of the Dimna take his dead people in these tombs. Oh, the tombs, yeah. Was a hard way to this rock. Also on the Sinai. This is Kapatue, also Kilimanjaro, K2. It's the second highest mountain in the world. It's on the border from Pakistan to China, and it's 8,611 meters high. 6,000 meters high. 8,600, and the highest Mount Everest is 8,884. Did you meet any people who are thinking about going up Mount Everest? They have been. I have a picture inside from this main. You can find on the world 14 rocks, 14 mountains with more than 8,000 meters, and he climbed on 13. Both on all, how's any did it go? 14, and we're 10 now. You're 14. And my friend Hans was on 13 on the top. You know this? My father worked on floor number 44 until 1989. Number 2. We go by a helicopter. My daughter and me. This is Ellis Island, what I remember. Yeah. These are the 3 Zinnen. I've been on all 3 climbing. Yes, with ropes, with swimming pools. En als een manier. Boven ze niet zijn. Oh, weet je, this are the Cinque Torre. Cinque Torre, 5 towers. 5 towers, my shoes, on my rope. This is all the 8. The 8 are 8. 8. The 8. Avaro, beautiful. 100 meters down. Tiro. This is also in place. Maybe so much like this. And here, the rock straight up. And here, 100 meters down. And my guide gave the rope in the ring. And then I put it in my belt, in my safe belt, and then I'm running the jump birds. Here. my wife, not she, was my second wife. She take a film from this. So she was down and she said, this crazy man. This is also in the rocks. And this is my friend he was my guide many years. Flowers in this fire year. This was in India. One of the beautifulest buildings I ever saw. Taj Mahal. This was down in Peking. This was the marble ship in Peking. Also this is in Costa Rica. The night before I was hot truck. Rome. I love Rome. Yeah. This is on the mountain of Sinai, 2,285 meters. There you can find people with high heels. It's true. This is my son. Michael. Yes. This is also a rock on the Sinai. This is from a balloon. Drive a balloon ride. Yes. It's in the south of Austria. This is in ice. Climbing in ice. Also this. This is sunset. This is the Yamuna, the holy river in Agra where the Taj Mahal. This is a building from the Taj Mahal, from the left side, near the river. Barbecue in South Africa, in the bush. I spent some nights in the bush alone with my guide. The first night, whoa. Where are these? Also South Africa. Lions in South Africa. And there's a leopard and lion. Two of the big fudge. This was in Costa Rica. Pyramids by night. The Sphinx. Yes. Also in the pyramids. This is this man I told you. He was on 8,000 meter high. Franz from Austria. No, Südtirol. Many people say we look like brothers. But he's more than 10 years younger than me. When you say Südtirol and I said Austria, and you said, no, do you mean Italia? Well, I asked him, and I said, what are you? Are you Austrian or you're Italian? He said, no. I tell it in the dialect he told. Wir sein keine Österreicher, nicht. Wir sind auch keine Italiener, nicht. Wir sind Südtiroler. It's from his own place called Südtirol. He's not Austrian. He's not Italian. Austria is not Italian. This is Südtirol. Is that the way people in the 1990s thought about that area? They thought like him, or is he different than other people? It was a very hard time for these people after the World War. When Südtirol came to Italy, before. Hitler says to these people, if you stay here, you are Italian. If you like to talk German language, you must go in the north. Many people, it was very hard for these people. So I like history, so I read also much about this. It's very hard for this. And this was in the North Adria, between Italy and Slovenia. We made a sailing to Adriatic Sea, Adriatic Sea in the north. But this is very hard for me because I get always seasick. You know this?
Defends you, Mignano. I have a picture of me with that from 1983.
This is also San Gimignano on the backside. This is a wall through my garden, and you can look. This is San Agustin. This is a church in the west of Gimignano. The big wall. This is me, this black man. I got this jump to my 5th birthday from my daughter.
Your daughter's 5th birthday?
Are you 50?
50, something. 50th birthday. That was a present from your daughter, Julia.
Yeah. Present from my daughter Julia to my 5th birthday. This is also in New York. This is also in New York. This man I know now 30 years. He's a very good friend from the time when I was climbing. And this was his 75th birthday. And I was invited. He made this fair party, this party on a castle. And we all were dressed in the monks. Yeah. And I was the priest. And here I was standing and I was telling a joke. This is San Antimo. It's near Montalcino in the south of the Tuscany. It's a very, very, very nice church made in the styles of Romanic. 11,100. Yellow travertine.
The year 1100.
11, yes. This is nearby this castle. You can find this group of trees. I painted. It's inside. I painted. This is one of a special olive tree. This is a picture when it's short hairs on the Sinai. And this is my friend. This is on the top of the Mount Everest.
Oh, wow.
He goes down by ski.
Did many people do the skiing on Mount Everest?
No, not many people. It's the first is it's very hard to come up because it's impossible to eat oxygen. Well, yes, it's impossible to go by here by
Too much wind?
No. In this height, the helicopter has no lift. No, it's impossible. The maximum height what they can arrive by helicopter is 6,000 meters, and
The air is not dense enough?
no, it's very, very thin air. The air is very thin. It's also a problem for the people who climb up, because when you have no this Druck, Sauerstoff, the oxygen, it's very hard. You here in this area, you get enough oxygen when you take one
One big breath.
big breath. It's okay. in this height, you need 5. And this is very hot, very hot. And it's impossible to make it raining in Baghdad. And the problem is in the blood you have red and white blood cells. Yeah. And you have not enough from the red. They make the transport from the oxygen. And this is where many, many people die. One get in the lung and the other one in the brain. The brain gets bigger and the bone stop it. And so you get too much pressure. Many, but headache, cognitive headache, adrenal, and you get the spins, dizzy. And the other one, the lung, produce water in the lungs. Yes, produce water, and you drink. No, you drown. It's like you drown in the water. Jump in the water and go down, and you die. It's the same on 8,000 meter high. The lung filled with water. With water. They called it in English. This is in the brain is haze, and this is hape. Haze and hape. Haze and hape. So, short. These are pictures from my works. You know this? This is another one. Oh yeah. This is another one. This is a shaykh. The places of stone and wood. But it's not true because it's a problem. Stone is static. Stone is stone. 6 centimeters equal which weather 6 is 6 by the wood. 501, 502. Or in the other, when it's dry, it's smaller. When it's wet, it's bigger. Yeah. And when you do it in 1 year, it's destroyed. This is Shanghai. This also olive wood. Is this your atelier? No, this is an exhibition. This is a painting. This is my atelier. In this time, I paint very much, but I stop it. This is all our own paintings. It just means this is also an apple. Lake. Cielo. Do you know what type of stone this is? Quartz. This is wood. This is alabaster. Alabaster. This is olive wood, and this is beton. Beton. Oh, beton. Concrete. Yeah. Beton. This is also by an exhibition. This is a changing from the Taj Mahal. This is a changing photo of San Gimignano. A changing picture from the passage. And many years before, we made a revival of a desert to my friend and me. And before we leave for Austria, he said to me, "Hey, Franz, it will be very nice when anyone is writing about this travel." And I said to him, "Do it. Not me, you can it, and you write very beautiful. So I started to write. Afterwards, I made an exhibition from the rainwood to the desert, from the rainforest to the desert. 150 photos in 150 photos in this size. 45 to, warte mal, 45 der Rest, oder 30, 45 centimeters. And afterwards, he asked me, or he said, what are you doing with this many photos? And I said, well, maybe I make an album. And I started. This album was produced in Vienna. Blue, made in blue. I was very angry about that because I said, I like a color, desert color. And you make it blue. I said, hey, is this the color of the desert? And they said to me, it's near the sea. And I destroyed it and I made it myself. This is leather. And then I started to put in pictures. And my friends see it and said, do you have something right in it? And I said, yeah, I like to make some from the computer. He said, no. So, please write it by hand. Crazy. Do you know what?
Writing it by hand.
Yeah, by hand. And I said, do you know how much work this is? And they said, do you have a dummy? You have time enough? Please write it by hand. This will be a very special book. I show you all the sun. And I started to write it all by hand. It's all broken, written by hand. And in this book are only pictures from the Sinai. This is the time when I spent on signing. This is one of the pictures I like most. And what I wrote here, I was alone in this area. And this, in the Bible, you can read it, the Old Testament. Here in this area, Moses was more than 40 years and looking for the Holy Man. And I was sitting here and I wrote here, I talk with God. But without words, words had been disturbed, I think is the word. Also hätte gestört. Worte hätten gestört. This is a famous castle in the center of the Sinai, built by Saladin, the great enemy of King Richard the Lion. It was built in 1000 after Jesus Christ. This is the holy monastery on the Sinai, on the mountain of Sinai, St. Catherine. This am I. My first travel on this mountain. I was 42 years old. No, 44. And all what you see here, what's written is in gold, is not from me. This said other man, famous man, said this. And one, the Saint-Exupéry, yeah, this is a sentence from Saint-Antoine de Exupéry. Nur das Unbekannte ängstigt den Menschen. Wenn sie erst mit den eigenen drinnen sehen, fürchtet sich nicht wieder. I was very tired at this time, but it's on the 2,000 meter on this mountain. This is the summit chapel on the Nordmose. Sunrise, sunset. In the evening, in the morning, I take the night. I spend the night on this rock. Lots of thinking. Lots of thinking. You have time to think. I mean, in the desert, you have minutes, and for this Weghofer was also one time with me. This was my friend. He died 4 years ago. And she died 6 years young, my daughter. Your daughter died 6 years ago. And the boy you saw yesterday is her son. And this was my wife in this time. This is, they call the Bedouins, which other people who live there. They call this the house of Hir. Barashayat is the name in Arabic. It's only made from the hair from goats. Because when this is dry, it's open. The wind can go through. It's very important. And when rain comes, it's closed. The hair of what goats? I don't know exactly what kind of goat. And then this stand I lived for 1 week. 1 week. I lived with these people. Eat with them from one pot. We drink the same water. We talk a mix of English and Arabic. It was so nice, yes. Are they Muslim people? Those Bedouin? I like the Bedouins. I don't like the people from the town. Are the Bedouins Muslim or non-Muslim? Yes, they are Muslims, but not such stupid men in the town. Not violent people. And I accept every religion is equal for me, what kind of religion anybody has. But it's a problem for me when they try to use force to make me missionaire. Also mich zu missionieren. Then I also like to become a Muslim. No. Evangelize you. If you like, you can pray to this tree, or to this tree, or to this straw, or to this room. It's equal for me, but not me. And from this man, I learned very much. But later, I was very angry about him because I want for all things I want money. And much money, not a lot of money and much money. And here you can see 1992, 93, 2003 was cut it here, and now it's like this, but white. This is the Dana. This is acacia tree. Acacia. This is this plant is growing from a well of strength. Also this. Animals in Sinai, and you can see this kind of animals only when you are alone. Okay, very high from people. forests of pillars. This is from an eruption, volcanic eruption, volcano eruption. Yes. This is a dome, a lot of times. This is a temple on a 1,000-meter high rock. This is on the gold of the cow. It's one part of the cow. All of the cow is something text. What I think about deserts. Most of the people don't know what this means, desert. This is a very good essay of the desert. This is from Alabaster. Yeah, in some cases, it's very difficult to translate. And I like such, and I wrote it inside in one side. Special obedience, Fintai. This is the coast of Saudi Arabia. It's in the morning, sunset. And every time you're coming in, you can get tea. They always have tea for you. They are really nice people. Where do they get the water from? Oh, the next fountain from this stand is 2 hours by camel. When they bring water home, they take the camel and put it from around with any bottle what they have in plastic. And then they go to the fountain, take water, and come back. And I'm exciting evening. We have been invited for tea. And the wife of the house make the tea, take 6 glasses, small glasses. They serve the tea in small glasses and put in the first glass a little bit water. Then she took it and put the finger in it and turned this glass. Then she takes the water and put it in the next glass till she was ready with all 6. And then the rest of the water she take and put it in the plant. So they work with water. And I made a journal with 3 men and 1 man, terrible. A man in my age, also long hair, but nothing. In the morning, he took the water, drinkable water, put it in his hand and laid his hair wet. That's what you're doing. I make my hair wet. You can do it here. Why? You have enough. Look at this old man. How he looks. He's very sad. How do you use the water? Most of the water was not in his hand unless he was in the sand. I was so angry. Mm-hmm. And this old man said to me, he couldn't come to me because he couldn't speak English, but his grandson was able to transmit. And this old man said to me, you can come whenever you want. You're always welcome. What is mein? Business usual. So, And with this man, I had a crash. I take this picture. He hurt the camera. He goes down from the camera, comes to me, give me 50 pounds. Egyptian pounds. This is equal. And I said, why? You take picture from my camera. Well, I take a picture from, this is my camera. So, my friend, I take a picture from the sun. Is this your son? Yes. So also mine. One after the other, one word after the other. And as he said to me, I destroy your camera. Take my camera and said, try it. And then I told this sentence to him in my language. I said to him, ich zerreiße dich, I put you, and you can entscheiden. Du kannst dir aussuchen, ob ich dich so zerreiße oder so. Also, zerreiße, you're gonna break him in half. Make a break with you. Yes, I break you in half. Yes, fair. This is Damariska. This is smelling like honey. But it's very dangerous to walk inside, because in this area, in the shadow, there are 4 kinds of snakes. Toxic snakes. It's very, very poisonous snakes. I spent one night free, not in the tent, and when I waked up, I had a scorpion on my hand sitting. And I heard it's very important that you are very quiet. And that 1 minute seems like 2 hours. This looks like wood. This is stone. All Sinai. Das sind da in der Moos. This stone is also high like this. You must jump down. And in the meantime, you have a ladder here that the people can climb down. And this is from me, the hand of God. Look. Touching Adam in the Sistine Chapel. Whatever you want. This is the man in the snipsack. Good sweet. But it's very, very interesting that this kind of stone you can, by nail, you can crash. And this is glass. Glass in the middle, like glass. So hard. But it's you're not the nicest girls I saw on the Sinai. In this time, I think she was 14 or 15. In the meantime, she had, I think, 5 children. Such it is. At age 14, she had 5 children? No, later. Yeah, no. Now she's back. In this age, very extraordinary beauty. Extraordinary beauty. I wrote here, go cultures, go philosophies of life to people. So among rows. Goes on the way to the summit. On the street. I don't destroy this boat. I tried to swim out, got the heart was just, the sea was too high. Sea was too high. Was too high, and it was really danger when the one wave and throw you to the other ship now. I'm here now. I'm not here. I'm the bones of me. This is the highest peak on the Sinai. Highest peak on the Sinai. This is Mount Catherine, with 2,600 and something this high. But it's forbidden to climb. Here you say Mount Musa. Musa, the picture where I was sitting, is the Mount Musa, and there is a valley. And this is the highest peak on the Sinai. These are changing photos. Showing. Okay. We did it. We did it. This is also work from Holyfield. Let's take a look at the lake. Oh, see you inside. A good way to end it. So I'm Sifu Slim with another story from an Austrian man. Started in his 40s. Started traveling around the world, but in his 50s he started mountain climbing. So please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Aloha.